Hello, my name is Hamzah Issa, and today I'll be presenting a paper titled Target Localization in Cell-Based Image Analysis and Disease Diagnosis. This work was published as part of the LMRL workshop at ICLR 2025. The paper explores an efficient approach to localizing regions of interest in microscopy and medical images using a lightweight pre-processing pipeline. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the motivation, methodology, key results, and offer some critical insights into the paper's strengths and areas of improvement. Medical imaging, especially microscopy, is a foundational tool for diagnosing conditions like cancer. However, identifying critical features like polyps or tumor cells isn't always straightforward. These targets are often camouflaged within noisy or low contrast environments. The images on the left are examples of original microscopy images, and to the right, the same images after pre-processing or processing. These visuals highlight how subtle and embedded these features can be, making detection a major challenge. Deep learning has made great strides in segmentation, but it comes with high costs and both data requirements and computational power, which makes in-clinic deployment difficult. So the key question becomes, how can we localize targets accurately and efficiently without the overhead complex deep networks? That's the focus of the method proposed in this paper. When deploying imaging-based diagnostic tools in the real world, we face three major constraints: time, compute, and data. These are represented on the right. Deep learning models, although powerful, often require long training times, high-end GPUs, and massive labeled datasets. As a result, many healthcare facilities, especially in low-resource environments, cannot particularly adapt to them. Now imagine if we could reduce all three. That's exactly what the authors aim to address by using a lightweight, efficient pre-processing pipeline that doesn't sacrifice accuracy but still removes the heavy burden of training and hardware. Take a look at where current deep learning models stand and what gaps still exist. Popular architectures like UNet and PolyPVT are widely used for medical image segmentation. They offer high accuracy but come at a cost. They require large volumes of labeled training data and significant computational resources. This limits their accessibility, especially in smaller labs or clinics. The table below summarizes this trade-off. UNet and PolyPVT perform well, but their generalizability tends to drop when used outside controlled environments. By contrast, the proposed method in this paper delivers moderate accuracy, but excels in efficiency and adaptability. It's fast, interpretable, and does not rely on massive datasets. This makes it far more practical for real-world deployment, especially in time-sensitive or resource-constrained settings. To address the challenges with deep learning models, this paper introduces a completely different approach, one that relies on traditional image processing rather than neural networks. As outlined on the left, the method begins with a fast Fourier transform and high-pass filtering to enhance object edges. Then phase normalization helps suppress repetitive background patterns. This is followed by inverse FFT, entropy analysis to find information-rich regions, and OTSU threshold to segment the target. Next, free key points are detected and enclosed using a convex hull, which is finally wrapped in a bounding circle, giving us a focused region of interest. On the right, you can see how this proposed method compares to UNet and PolyPVT across four metrics. While the proposed approach trades are some accuracy, it requires far less data and compute and offers superiority in generalizability. This makes it an ideal candidate for fast, lightweight localization, especially in low resource environments. This slide provides a step-by-step breakdown of the image processing pipeline used in the proposed method. We begin with an input image that goes through a 2D Fourier transform. From there, a Gaussian high-pass filter is applied to enhance the fine structures. This is followed by a phase normalization, which removes background regularity, crucial for isolating the region of interest. The image is then reconstructed using an inverse FFT, normalized and analyzed with local entropy to detect areas of complexity. OTSU thresholding is used to binarize the image, helping to isolate most relevant features. Next, free key points are extracted from the reduced image, and a convex hull is fitted around them. Finally, a bounding circle is drawn, providing a clean and localized region of interest. You can see this entire sequence illustrated in the diagram shown below. Optionally, the output can also be passed into a lightweight deep learning model for further refinement, but the core pipeline functions independently, enabling fast and interpretable localization. Now, this is a summary for the datasets used to validate the proposed method and key performance metrics. The authors tested their approach on a wide range of biomedical image datasets, from cell cultures like PHC C2DH and SKBR3. Datasets like CAVSEER and CVC colon were also used, and even skin and breast cancer images from ISIC and BUSI, for example, were also used. The main metrics were ground truth retention, area retained, and bounding box accuracy. Essentially, they measured how much of the actual target was captured versus how much of the image was kept. The chart on the right visualizes this trade-off. The blue bars show the percentage of ground truth retained, while the red bars represent how much of the image area was used. For example, PHC2 retained over 93% of the target area using only about 21% of the image. Across most datasets, we see GT retention remaining high, even as image area is drastically reduced. This balance is what makes the method both accurate and efficient. Here, we see how well the method actually performed across multiple biomedical imaging tasks. Across all test data sets, the method achieved an impressive average ground truth overlap of 90%. This means that despite being a lightweight pipeline with no deep learning involved, it was still able to accurately localize the regions of interest. In parallel, it achieved an average image area reduction of 80%, which indicates it discards irrelevant parts of the image and focuses only on the most informative sections. This is a critical advantage for resource-constrained settings where computational efficiency directly affects diagnostic spread and cost. When we zoom into the polyop detection, the results are especially notable. The method's bound circle capture at least 95% of the polyop's growth truth or ground truth in 73% of the test cases, which is significant given the variability and complexity of endoscope imagery. Taken together, these findings highlight that the proposed method isn't just computationally efficient, it's also clinically effective, striking a practical balance between speed, simplicity, and accuracy. It demonstrates strong generalizability across data types, and its ability to maintain diagnostic relevance with reduced image scope makes it a strong candidate for deployment in real-time medical workflows. To wrap up the evaluation, let's look at key takeaways, both strengths and limitations of the proposed method. On the pro side, this approach is efficient and lightweight. It doesn't require heavy compute or large data sets, making it highly practical for real-world clinical settings, especially in low-resource environments. It's also interpretable, meaning clinicians and researchers can understand how the method works, and an increasingly important aspect just in medical AI. Additionally, the method generalizes well across diverse datasets, demonstrating flexibility in both cell-level and anatomical scale image types. However, like any system, it's not without its limitations. The bounding circle it produces can sometimes be too large, particularly when the target has irregular shape or when precise boundaries are clinically important. It also struggles with closely spaced targets, which may get grouped into a single region. And because it doesn't perform pixel-level segmentation, it lacks the granular accuracy that more advanced deep learning models might offer. Looking forward, there's a strong opportunity to enhance this method by combining it with lightweight conventional or convolutional neural network or transformer models for post-processing. Another promising direction is adaptive thresholding, which could make the localization more sensitive to varying constraints and background textures. These additions can preserve the method's efficiency while improving its precision and robustness in a more complex clinical scenarios. This slide highlights the broad implications and key takeaways of the paper, spanning clinical relevance, technical value, and future integration potential. First, by removing the need for large datasets and high-end computational resources, the proposed method significantly lowers the barrier for clinical deployment. This is especially valuable for smaller clinics, rural healthcare centers, or developing regions where access to GPU-enabled systems and data infrastructure is limited. Second, its use of smart pre-processing techniques, including Fourier transforms, entropy filtering, and thresholding, enables rapid, meaningful localization of diagnostic features. This supports faster analysis without compromising too much on performance, making it ideal for real-time or high-throughput workflows. Third, the method's modular design opens the door for hybrid application. It can function independently for a lightweight task or serve as a preprocessor for downstream models, especially compact CNNs or vision transformers. This flexibility allows it to scale with available resources or be tailored to specific medical domains. The table in the bottom summarizes these takeaways across three aspects: clinical deployment, diagnostic efficiency, and future integration. Each one reinforces the idea that this approach isn't just research novelty, it's a practical solution that meets real needs in modern healthcare AI. Thank you for watching my presentation on target localization and cell-based image analysis. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave a comment under the video. I'll be happy to respond and continue the discussion there. Thank you again for your time.